The 2K20 Playmaking Glass Cleaner is one of the most fun, most coveted builds in NBA 2K history, and today I will be recreating this build in NBA 2K26. Make sure you guys are watching all the way through. I tell you about cap breakers, max plus twos, and everything else you'll need to know about this build. Real quick before we get started, I have been putting you guys onto everything this year, so drop a like, drop a sub, turn the notifications on. I really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get right into this build. Alright, so here we are in the builder, and for this Playmaking Glass Cleaner, I wanted to make it as close to 2K20 as possible, but still make it a good, competitive, viable build in NBA 2K26. I think the stats show that very well, represent that very well. But anyways, we are going to go position power forward, height 6'8", 234 pounds, so we can keep that strength up, with a 7'2" wingspan. If anybody remembers right, this build was a build that could grab rebounds, play make, dribble, finish. Shooting was low, but it was definitely a skill gap if you could shoot consistently with that rating. So that's what I kept in mind when making these stats. But anyways, we are going to go with an 87 driving dunk with the possibility to cap break that obviously to 89 and get the next level of contact dunks if we go ahead and upgrade our vertical as well. But anyways, we do have that 87 driving dunk off rip with no cap breakers. I wanted to keep the no cap breaker people in mind as well, because I have a lot of people telling me they don't have them yet, or they have very few. So anyways, with this 87, we're getting silver posterizer, gold aerial wizard, and I think we get the 2 foot moving contact dunk animations. Like I said, if you have cap breakers to throw on this, and maybe vertical, I'd have to look at the requirements, but this gets you the first contact dunk package, and then I think it's 89 and 80 vertical that gets you the next one. 70 layup is still gonna get you bronze float game, bronze physical finisher, standing dunk 47, but we get the packages that we need, and you can always cap break this if you have extras at the end of the year. Not something super important, but this is what I went with to start. Under the shooting, like I said, this was a build that back in the day, in the last few years when people have been trying to remake it, the shooting's a little bit low, and if you can shoot with those lower ratings, that's where the skill gap comes in, because this build is so strong in other categories. So we do still have the 83. It's not like we have a bad rating out here. Most poppers have an 83 pointer, so this is really not that bad. And we're getting a bronze Deadeye, silver set shot, and bronze shifty shooter on this build to go along with a 70 midi. You guys know how it is. If you have the badges, the rating for midi doesn't matter as much. Then a 61 free throw. We'll be able to hit them here and there. Probably won't be playing a ton of fives in this build. This will be more of a park build if I end up upgrading it. And then the pass accuracy at 71, I've said it in a lot of my videos, I try not to go above 71 pass accuracy on most of my builds, just because it doesn't feel like it's super worth wasting a bunch of attribute points in that this year. 71 throws fast passes, they're still very solid. 85 ball handle for all the dribble moves we need on the 6'8" build, bronze ankle assassin, silver handles for days, silver unpluckable, and Hall of Fame strong handle because our strength is so high, and then a 75 speed of the ball. Now the one thing that is not great about the speed of the ball rating is we don't get the 80, which does not give us blur takeover. We do still get silver lightning launch, and I will be specializing in playmaking just to get a max +2 on lightning launch for the rest of the year, get that to Hall of Fame. But I am not going to make this build around blur takeover, because I do think it's going to get patched eventually, that the contact dunks that come with it are just too crazy. So I'm not going to base a whole build around it. If you guys wanted to, you could go lighter, you could go less strength, and you could try to go get that 80 speed of the ball, but this is what I ended up going with. And then we do have an 82 interior, very solid defensive build, very solid defensive build. 82 interior, getting a silver paint patroller, silver post lockdown, and gold off ball. Then the 85 perimeter, we're going to be able to guard guards on this build as well. Silver challenger, silver on ball, silver pick dodger, gold immovable, which in my opinion is more important than a lot of the other defensive badges this year. I've been preaching it for the last couple years. I absolutely love immovable enforcer. I think it's a great badge, and I think it's more important than on ball menace some of the time. 73 steal, again, I'm not going to dump a bunch of steal into this because steals just don't feel that great right now. I'm getting some lanes with a 60 overall rating, and I just don't really want to go super high on that because I didn't think it was worth the attribute points on this build. But we still do get bronze glove and silver interceptor, and then silver high flying denier and silver paint patroller with the 84 block. Blocks are very good again this year, so you're going to be sending back shots in the paint. 64 offensive rebound, but the more important stat is the 89 defensive rebound, which gets us gold box out and silver rebound off rip. Now, if you do have cap breakers, this is where I would apply your first 5. I'd go ahead and throw 5 on here to get it to a 94, getting you Hall of Fame box out beast and gold rebound chaser. And you could always max +2 that gold rebound chaser and have legend rebound chaser if you wanted to use this build as a big man in the park. 81 speed, 76 agility. This is going to help with our defensive badges and just moving on the court, getting up and down. So 81 speed on a 6'8 is very fast this year. I think I have 85 on my guard. So 81 on a big man 6'8 is going to be perfectly fine. I'm telling you right now. 76 agility, again, going to help you with those defensive stats, get your feet moving on defense, and just help you get more stops overall. And then the 85 strength, I did originally want to go 91. So if you guys wanted to drop the weight a little bit, like I said, use this as a template, change this however you want. Don't feel like I'm telling you have to make it exactly like this. I see some people in my comments saying they switched up little things to make it fit their play style, and that's exactly what you should be doing. You don't need to be copying this exactly how I made it, but this is just what I would do for my play style and how I would do it, because I wanted a big, strong 6'8" build that could grab rebounds and play solid defense. But if you guys want to go a little bit lighter, if you want to push for the blur takeover, if you want to not leave the option open to go higher strength and put the attributes somewhere else, go ahead and do that. But I did go with the 85 for silver brick wall, silver post lock, gold unmovable, and again, that strong handle badge is going to be very, very solid on this build. It's not quite as cheesy as last year, but it definitely is not bad. And then the 78 vertical, again, going to help with our defensive badges, going to help with our pogo stick, and going to help with our contact dunk animations. This build overall, very solid, very well-rounded 6'8" build, and I really do think you could use this as a big man in the park just with how solid all around it is. And you got shooting, contact dunks, you can dribble, and if you wanted to use it as primarily a big man, you could honestly lower the ball handle and speed of the ball and dump it into other attributes. I don't know. This is what I'm going with. This is my playmaking glass cleaner remake. Let's go ahead and take a look at the shades and the name. Evan Mobley, Anthony Davis, and Sean Marion, and we are an edge enforcing slasher. I really like how this build turned out. There is a couple weaknesses. Can't convert easy dunks. I don't know why it's saying that. We have an 87 driving dunk. If you guys know anything about the game, you know that that is just not true. And then no presence in the low post. We are not post scoring on this build. We are a popper. We're a playmaking glass cleaner. We're going to be isoing. We're not posting up. So that is going to be the build. Let's go ahead and take a look at the animations I would use on this build. And I did just want to show you guys the cat break screen for this as well, because it varies so much by build, and if you lower a couple attributes, then honestly it gives you something way different every single time. Anyways, yeah, but you can use those two cat breakers to get the 89 driving dunk. You could throw some on vertical if you wanted to go higher. You could go ahead and up your pass accuracy if you wanted to be more of a playmaker. I mean, there's a lot of options on this, but like I said, the first ones I would go with would be this defensive rebound right here to get it to a 94. And even if you wanted to get a standing dunk, I mean, you could add 15, 21, 26. You could get a very high driving dunk. You could end up with like a 75 or standing dunk. Sorry, you could end up with like a 75 standing dunk. So if that was something that you thought was important, you could go ahead and do that. But yeah, there's pretty solid cat break options on this build. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this before you went ahead and made it, because these are the options that you get. And if you're looking for something different, you will have to use this as a template and switch it up a little bit just to be able to get the cat break opportunities that you guys want. Alright, so if you're looking for animations for 6'8" builds, this is everything I have on currently. Feel free to go ahead and save this, take a screenshot, whatever you want to do. This is what I'm using on my other 6'8" build. These dribble moves are very, very fast. The only thing I would say to watch out for is this Kobe White behind the back. It is very aggressive, and you throw the ball over to the other side really, really hard, really fast, and your player kind of jumps to the other direction. But it does get bumped quite a bit if the defender's standing there, so just be careful with that. But otherwise, these dribble moves are very solid. They're very quick. This Zach LaVine dribble style, you still do get that at the 75 speed with ball rating. So I would definitely make sure you're at least hitting that threshold if you want to be dribbling on this build whatsoever. But yeah, this is what I have on, so go ahead and copy that down if you want to. And that is going to be everything I have for you guys on this playmaking glass cleaner in NBA 2K26. If this helped you at all, or if you enjoyed the video, thank you for sticking around to the end. Drop a like, drop a sub, turn your notifications on your way out, and I will catch you in the next one.